Hi all. Everything in my video is pulled from the public domain, and I am using them under the Fair Use, Fair Dealings guidelines. Everything I say is my own opinion. You should look into this information for yourselves, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. Good morning, everybody. Oh my goodness. Okay, we have two things that we're going to talk about today, but those two things are pretty big things. Let's just jump right in. I'm in shock. Yeah. All right, let's go. All right, I'm throwing a few small articles in here, and this first one, people are really upset with what Harry said about I'm trying to make the world a better place for Archie and Lily. Well, Archie and Lily live in a mansion, and they're taken around by drivers, and they have nannies and cooks and lawn people, and they fly in private jets. So when Harry says I'm going to make the world a better place, I have to fix it for make it more equal, people are skewering him for those comments because it's completely tone deaf. I mean, there's something wrong with this guy. All right, moving on. I just had to put this in there. People are like, if this is what happiness looks like, no, thank you. Yeah. Pretty obvious that he looks miserable. Have you guys noticed in every photo, he looks absolutely miserable? It's shocking. All right. We have all this stuff about the Platinum Jubilee, and we're about to get into it, but I thought this article was interesting because, again, you have to look at the wording. Harry and Meghan were told by Netflix, could be told by Netflix, to avoid the Jubilee if Andrew attends. I think Netflix wants them to attend the Jubilee because they hired two ex-royals who no longer have any connection to the royal family. And so they probably told them they need to fix it quick because their brand is suffering. That's what I think. And people have heard about this meeting and they're very upset. And they're saying, maybe the Queen wants to forgive you, but the public doesn't. And the public is saying they don't want them on the balcony. They don't want to see them. Let them be in the background for family. Let them stay in the palace and watch TV while everybody troops the colors and stands on the balcony. But no, nobody really wants to see them. And seriously, people are like, would you give it a rest? You want it out, you're out. Stop trying to worm your way back in. So Harry gave an interview. He also gave an interview to the BBC. He gave an interview to People magazine. They're doing this big PR push because people really just don't like them. And they did say that they would be more visible in 2022. And here it is. Invictus, PR push, photos everywhere, People magazine. Yeah. And notice that they're doing all of this the day before the Queen's birthday. So once again, they're trying to take the limelight from the Queen. That's exactly what they're doing. They could have done these interviews next week after her birthday, but no. Just like when everybody goes on tour and they try to take it over, same thing. So anyway, Harry sits down to do this interview, and this is what he said.
With me, and I'm just making sure that she's, protected and got the right people around.
Well, you make her laugh.
So for those who caught it, I have to make sure she's protected and she has the right people around her. Okay, well, I've got some issues with that, but first, listen to this.
To me, this feels even more personal. The people who are clearly surrounding and protecting the Queen at the moment are William and Charles. So is this a direct criticism by...
That's right, whether you believe it or not, and I do believe it, he took another swipe at them because I think he's insinuating that it's William and Charles who have made the Queen behave this way towards Harry. Shockingly, but yes, that is what I believe. Now, they're also saying that this is a test to see what Harry would do. And the more he blabs, they're saying, the worse it is for him. Because they wanted to see if he could keep things private. Now, let me say this also. We already know, it's been reported by multiple sources that Meghan did not see the Queen. Meghan was put into a side room. It was Harry that met with Charles. It was Harry that met with the Queen. Meghan did not meet with the Queen. And yet, listen to what Harry said.
Yeah, I did. Both Meghan and I had tea with her, so it was really nice.
So the lies just come rolling right off Harry's mouth, right out of his mouth. He said that he and Meghan both went in and had tea with the Queen. I don't believe that for 1 second. Now, you guys know that I love Australian news. They're always spot on. And there was one presenter from Australian news that was really heated up about what happened. So the presenter started out by saying he couldn't tell if Prince Harry was a narcissist, a fantasist, or if he was just flat out delusional. And he said he was going to look into Harry's allegations that he was hands-on in taking care of the Queen. Here's what he had to say.
I've sent some messages in the last half hour to royal correspondents. They say there is absolutely no evidence whatsoever that Prince Harry is involved in any way in the care or the well-being of the Queen. You know, he certainly caused her great pain and embarrassment when Prince Philip was on his deathbed. He was busy talking to Oprah. He didn't show up for the memorial a few weeks ago, too busy to do that. What nonsense to be saying he's somehow involved in the care and protection of the Queen. It is absolutely ridiculous that he's in... How insulting to Prince Charles and other members of the royal family that somehow he, from Montecito, is overseeing the Queen's care. It's ludicrous.
So I'm going to be paying close attention to this interview when it actually does air, because I have a feeling I'm not interested in when he talks about Meghan. I'm not interested when he talks about the Invictus Games. I'm interested in what he's saying about the Queen. Now, of course, as I've just shown you, these people in Australia do not hold back on their opinions. And listen to this one final comment.
Yeah, I am. I'm sick of him and I'm sick of her. I really am. They're horrible people.
Okay, well...
In response to Harry's comments about his reunion with the Queen, Piers Morgan, I love that man, jumped in and said what? By quitting Britain and living 6,000 miles away? By trashing the family and the institution on television? By writing a book that will ruin her platinum jubilee? This is how he's protecting the Queen? And Piers Morgan also pointed out that they went on Oprah while Prince Philip was in the hospital dying, and they couldn't even be bothered to attend the memorial service a few weeks ago. But, you know, Piers said, I think she can manage her own protection just fine, considering she's been the Queen longer than Harry's been alive. And I completely agree with the comment that was made that to suggest he has some sort of advisory role over her is insane and offensive to those who have been assisting her, especially since he's been slamming her and the family over and over and over again. I completely agree with what The Spectator said. The possibility exists that Prince Harry just isn't that bright. But I agree with a lot of the comments that were put up, like this one. Was Prince Harry protecting the Queen when he called her a bad mother, sued her government, trashed her and her family on TV, and said she had no jurisdiction over the word royal? Good point. And I completely agree with Faith that Prince Harry leaked what was supposed to be a private meeting. Yeah, let's just trust him. Even the newspaper, The Mail, came out with a statement. Why would Harry, who's shown no regard for his grandmother's feelings and couldn't even bother to show up for his grandfather's memorial, choose now to take a time out from Netflix to do all of this? Very interesting question. And that same newspaper also pointed out that it's going to be very hard for Kate because no one's worked harder to take up the slack after Harry and Meghan left. You know, nobody's worked harder to try to broker peace, although it hasn't worked. And people are getting upset because the Queen really did show a lot of forgiveness and loving and kindness towards Harry, and everybody's really concerned about what he's going to do to her. Now, when asked if he missed his brother, if he missed his father, he basically was refusing to answer the question, which basically means no, because he no longer wants to be in their shadow. He wants to shine on his own. He's tired of being the second son. You know what I'm saying? But then he said something else that really got my attention. He said, and I'm quoting, that he constantly feels his mother's presence, more so than he ever has before over the last 2 years. Anybody else want to give a stab as to why you think that might be? He said he feels her presence in almost everything that he does now. Yeah, I bet. He also said he feels like Diana helped William and now she's abandoned William to go and help him. Now, you should know one other thing. Well, two other things. Number one, when asked if he was going to the Platinum Jubilee, flat out, his response was something along the lines of, I don't know. I have to work out security. I have to work things out. So if the Queen did say he could be on the balcony, they're not committing to it, number one, which shocks me. Number two, Harry let something slip accidentally during the interview. He said he's trying to get back to the UK so that the Queen can meet the kids. I'm sorry, didn't the Queen already meet Archie? You guys should also know that he stated in this interview that he essentially was the Queen's most trusted advisor, and that on a regular basis they would talk, apparently, and she would confide in him things. I don't believe that either. All right, let's move on. Just remember, everybody, with the interview they did here, with the People magazine interview, with the interview with the BBC, this is all about rebranding and trying to make people like him and like Meghan. This is the whole point. It doesn't work for me, but, whatever. All right, let's move on. I have to say that one of my followers, Miss Mills, I just have to comment on this before we do move on. She said she was watching a rerun of Little House on the Prairie, and it struck her that Meghan is like Mrs. Olsen, the mercantile owner. Remember her? She was always domineering over her husband, and she was always stirring the pot and causing trouble. Excellent analogy, spot on. Okay, now we can move on. Well, Netflix lost over 200,000 global subscribers in the first quarter this year and was warned that they could lose millions. Their shares fell 23%. Now, why do you guys think that happened? Now, Netflix is claiming two things: that people are password sharing, and that's what's creating the issues. No, I don't think 200,000 people are password sharing. And also that it's a post-COVID slump. Again, that makes no sense to me, because during COVID, when you're in your house, that's when you need Netflix. What gets me is they've raised their prices and they're losing money hand over fist, as they just spent millions for this special for Harry and Meghan, which I don't think is going to make back the money that they're hoping it will. Just think about all the money they spent on hotels and cameramen and clothing and makeup and hairstylists to try to make this thing that Harry and Meghan are trying to make, and it's going to flop. Could you imagine? They'll never make up that money again. It'll be interesting to see if they can rally, because from what I've been told, they have now increased their prices. So people that still wanted to watch Netflix now have to pay more money for it. That might actually force more people to quit Netflix. Let's see what happens. Now, in the meantime, they're drip feeding us these pictures of Meghan and, blah, 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 again, taking the attention away from the Queen. Oh, by the way, this picture, she painted the flag incorrectly. She probably should have Googled it, since there was nobody there to train her. So what do you guys think about all the things that Harry said in the interview about how he feels his mother's presence now more than ever? What do you think about him saying that he's making sure the Queen is surrounded by the right people? And what do you think is happening with Netflix since they're losing so much money? Do you think they're going to regret spending millions on Harry and Meghan with everything going on? All right, don't forget to leave those comments below. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the bell. Double check to make sure you're still subscribed. Don't forget you can follow me on Rumble. You can follow me on Twitter. You can follow me on Getter. You can email me. For those who have donated to my coffee fund, thank you so much. And as always, you guys, have a great day.